What's up, everybody? On a podcast now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about where's the DLC map, where's the roadmap for Predator Hunting Grounds, and I'm going to talk about in this video, when I think it's coming, what I think is going to be included, all that kind of stuff. I also quickly want to mention in the beginning of the video, as I have in the past, I have my second channel. It'll be linked in the description below. It would be awesome. It would mean a lot to me if you guys would check out that second channel, subscribe there. You guys have done an amazing job. I know a lot of you guys have subscribed there, and you guys have done an amazing job subscribing and supporting this channel. You guys have really done an incredible job, and a lot of these Predator videos have done very good, so I definitely owe a lot of that to you. I'm going to be continuing live streaming this game. We're going to be continuing talking about this game over the coming weeks, and that's ultimately one of the things that leads me into this roadmap is, is it a little concerning, is it a little worrying that we haven't gotten it yet? Yeah, I guess. I think if you would have asked me when the game came out, or like even that week before the game came out, and you said, when do you think they would do the DLC for it? I would probably have said sooner than what we're going to, eventually get. But it seems like as the days have gone on since the game's come out, it seems more and more apparent that, it wasn't going to happen right away. Obviously, they're very busy with the patches and fixing all that kind of stuff. And we've talked about some of those things on the channel, right? But they had said, even when the game had released that, like, hey, in that first patch notes, they said, hey, we're going to be announcing this DLC very soon, and this is just the beginning, right? We're going to be supporting this game indefinitely after the game is out, and with the first drop around, sometime in the middle of May, around a few weeks after the game is out. So ultimately, that brings us to, okay, well, starting tomorrow, that is 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since Predator came out. It feels like it's been an eternity. It's also because I've moved states and I've moved my whole life and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a whirlwind of the last 2 weeks. It feels like it's been longer, but it's been 2 weeks. And you got to imagine that if they're going to do something for DLC, it is going to come soon. It's going to come within the next couple of weeks. And so the question is, do they do the roadmap? Do they do the announcement of what to expect from the DLC? Do they do that with the launch, let's say, of the first thing? Now the question is, what would be that first thing? Are we looking at a map? Are we looking at new skins? Because, even Friday the 13th, it took them a little while. I feel like their first big thing wasn't until the summer months. Now, that game came out, I believe, like May 28th, like sometime in the late May. I believe July was when they first did the DLC for it. And I think it was that summer pack, right, where everybody had like the new outfits, basically. I'm pretty sure that was their first big push into that game. Do they do that here? Is their first big push skins? Do people get mad? Like even myself and even you guys, do we get mad if that is their first DLC? Because then when they talk about a DLC roadmap, again, we've talked about what I kind of imagine that being, maybe like literally a picture of one of the maps of this game, and there's like a trail, and then there's a couple dots in that trail, and that leads, and it kind of says or shows a picture of what you're gonna get at each mark, right? And maybe it says like summer, fall, things like that, or maybe even every month. I think at the end of the day, like we've said, literally every single video that I've talked about with this game, you need to support this game. This game needs to be supported. I feel like I would be pretty disappointed if the only thing we got is skins. Now, does that mean that I don't want skins? No, I've even seen a lot of you guys say in the comments, like, skins are important, and different outfits and different customization. Look, the game does an amazing job at that. I think that, yeah, there's limit, especially I guess maybe with the Predator, there's maybe limited things, but in general, there are numerous things you get to pick for all, Predator-wise and Fireteam-wise. There's all the different colors you can have. Obviously, the loot boxes going into that, it messes it up, I feel like, just a little bit. But there is loads of customization options for both. Now, we talked about, do you add additional gear? Do you add additional perks? See, things like that, those are things I think you should add. Like gear, literally gear, things that change up I guess I would say radically, right? Because if you do customization, if you do skins like that, yes, you're adding to kind of the blanket of the game. But if you do a map, that's obviously that's a huge thing, right? I feel like that would be the biggest thing. If you did a new class, that would be a massive thing. That would again, that would like radically change the game. I honestly, again, think if you do perks or gear, you do change it, because then people are doing different loadouts. If you do different gear, then that obviously changes things up. up. You're seeing predators do different things with the bear traps, with the decoys, with all this kind of stuff. You're seeing them mess around with it, and you can have a pretty good predator. Maybe that traps you into a building with bear traps. I've tried to do that a couple of times. I've seen other people do it successfully, and so I've tried it and it's failed. But I mean, eventually I will get people. I want that trophy for getting people caught in the bear trap. I'm going to get that trophy. But you see all that kind of stuff happening, right? So when you add more gear to that, it's going to change up how the predator plays, and I think that's very, very important. Again, we've talked about it. You need to keep this game going. You need to give us more ways to play. Again, like there are things with objectives. There's things, I guess, again, like with different maps. There's lots of stuff they can do. It's just that I feel like even because of this channel, right, and because of making these videos, we've talked so much about it. We've talked about all the possibilities of what they definitely can do. Now, again, are some things harder than others? Yeah, I mean, I want an Alien versus Predator event. Do I think that's probably impossible? Yeah. I mean, and again, even in those videos, a lot of you guys have said, well, could you do like 4v1v1, like have two predators fighting? Of course, I would love that. But you know what? It's like the game isn't built for that. I have zero confidence that they'd be able to pull off some of the, and you guys have given amazing suggestions, by the way, but some of those suggestions, I have zero confidence they'd be able to pull off. Would it be great in its own game? Absolutely. But would it be great in the game already built for Predator Hunting Grounds? No, I don't think it would. Again, like night modes, could you do a night vision kind of thing? Maybe. It depends on the coding. It depends on how well or how like basically entrenched the light system is into this game. The point is, though, there's so many things that they can do, and then you think about it, and then if they give us something pretty weak or pretty lame, is that a sign of things to come, right? And that's the biggest thing for me. It does mean a lot. I mean, the roadmap is going to be very, very important. I do look at the first drop, whatever the free update is, whatever the DLC is. I do look at that as kind of important because that's kind of setting the tone for what you're going to get. But again, if it's a roadmap and if it's like, okay, every couple weeks or every month you get something new, I could see it kind of finishing like with like a big finale of like a new map or new gear or something. I feel like one of those big things that radically changes how the game works, or again, like adding new objectives or changing the objectives, or anything like that. I think if you do that at the end of the roadmap, and by the way, there can be several roadmaps, and I hope that there are. If you do that, then I guess you would probably expect smaller things in the short term, right? Up until you get to that point, you'd probably expect short things. Obviously, like when that happens, we'll have to set our expectations accordingly, right? But I do expect big things. I really, really do. I expect them to promote this game. It's going to be interesting because, it's weird with these kind of games. You see them come out, you see the popularity in the beginning, and then you start to see, if and when they start to go away. But they've talked about it. They do want to support this game. They tried to support Friday the 13th. I'm sure they would have supported it more without the lawsuit. And then now, you probably want this game to go on for a while, like at least a full year. I'd imagine you'd want this game to go at least a full year. Does it come to next gen? Does it come to Xbox? Those are things I do want to talk about in the coming days, and I will do that. And I think that's very, very possible. And again, what that does is inject more life, like additional life into this game. So there is plenty that they can do. Absolutely plenty. Where's the roadmap? I don't know. It's been almost 2 weeks now. Knowing my luck, by the time this video goes up, or like literally tomorrow, something they'll drop it, right? It'll be like that. But again, if They promised the DLC in just a few weeks, so it's got to be in May. It's probably either next week or the week after. I mean, I guess I could keep going, right? I could say the final week of May. I really do think it's the two kind of middle weeks of May. I think one of them is when we would get whatever we're going to be getting, and I feel like because we haven't gotten the roadmap yet, it is very possible that we get the roadmap the same day that they say, okay, or even like they announce that, hey, there's going to be DLC coming, or they do the roadmap. Let's say that they do the roadmap like May 20th. And then the next day, the 21st, that is that first drop. That's the first DLC that you get. I could see that where they're either the roadmap comes out the same time as the DLC, or the roadmap comes out just literally like a day or two before it, and then the DLC comes out right after it to kind of put them close together. I think that would work rather well for them. Until then, I mean, I'm having fun. I think this game hasn't lost its entertainment value yet. I think it will. Like I've said it numerous times, it's very, very fun to play. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I try and play it every single night. I'm almost at level 100. I'm going to get there. All these things. It's fantastic. But, eventually There's no games out. There's no games. Not a single one. I mean, Star Wars, like the racer game, I am getting that. I'm very excited for that. That's one game. But really, up until June, they have it. They have it all basically to themselves. But once it gets into late May, lots of games coming to the Nintendo Switch, like games that were already on other consoles. And then June, obviously, with The Last of Us Part 2 and SpongeBob. And that's when it really starts to kick off all these games coming out. You need things in this game to kind of reinvigorate people, because people are going to start stepping away, especially when they, again, find like the value just isn't there anymore, or they've kind of experienced all there is to find. I have seen people, I guess, get better. I have seen better Predators. I have seen better Fire teams. They're not consistent. They're not even close to being consistent. I think one day, maybe in a few months from now, we'll get that consistency when all the other people will leave and it's just the best people left, and then it'll be like a really tough time winning anything. That maybe that'll actually be the best part of Predator, but that's still, I think, a little while away. So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Where do you think this DLC roadmap is? When do you think we're going to get it? What do you think that first DLC is going to be? Let me know. Make sure, again, as always, you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Style. Have that bell icon hit so you guys know when all the videos go up. And like I said, there's going to be more videos coming in the coming days, kind of talking about the future of Predator. Very, very excited to make those. And you guys have done an amazing, amazing job of supporting these videos. I really do appreciate it. My PlayStation name is always in. I'll put it in the description so you guys can add me if you guys want to. It's also in the About tab on Podcast Now, so if you guys ever want to play games with us, you can do it there. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.